After I, the real wealthy daughter, returned to the Smith family, I was disliked by everyone. In a moment of despair, I bound myself to the success system, so my task is to win the love of my parents and brother. No, your task is to get the first place in the city in the college entrance examination, learn 6 languages, be proficient in playing musical instruments and singing, publish 3 SCI papers before graduating from high school. The cold voice of the system came. I pointed at myself, looking confused. I'm the real wealthy daughter who is disliked by everyone. My parents and brother dote on the fake wealthy daughter, and I was bullied and beaten at school. Just as I was planning to slack off and start over, I suddenly bound myself to the system. Congratulations, host, for binding the success system. Trial version, the golden finger finally arrived. I asked the system excitedly. System, is my task to win over my wealthy parents, my cold brother, and my unruly childhood sweetheart, and have both family love and romantic love? The cold voice of the system came into my mind. If the system had a face, I think it would probably roll its eyes. What are you thinking, host? Your task is, of course, get the first place in the city in the college entrance examination, learn 6 languages, be proficient in playing musical instruments and singing, and publish 3 SCI papers before graduating from high school. The side quest is to get a national athlete certificate and win the first prize in the National Physics Olympiad. With the meticulous and cold voice of the system, I pointed at myself in confusion and asked, yes, it's you. The first stage of the task is to get the first place in the class this semester. Before I could react, a black countdown timer appeared in my mind. Damn it, system, are you crazy? Before I could curse at the system, the maid downstairs called me to have breakfast and go to school. I quickly changed my clothes and planned to go downstairs. I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm too thin, almost malnourished, my face is dark and thin, and with those big black eyes, I look even a bit terrifying. When I walked downstairs, Kathy was sitting gracefully at the dining table, drinking milk. Sister, you got up so late again, Kathy said with a seemingly innocent smile. If you're too slow, we won't wait for you. Figure out how to get to school on your own. The tall teenager standing in front of me was adjusting the collar of his school uniform. He had a proud expression and a tall and straight posture. He tilted his head slightly, and his eyes looking at me were filled with disgust and contempt. That teenager was my nominal brother, Frank. I still remember when I first arrived at the Smith family. Taking the car every day was a baptism of inferiority. Compared to the dark and thin country bumpkin that I was, the lively and delicate Kathy seemed to be his real sister. Since it was a nanny car, there were 2 rows of back seats. I always sat in the last row. I watched the 2 of them laughing and playing in the front. Kathy could act coquettishly towards her brother without any scruples, and the sound of my book falling to the ground would make Frank frown. I tried to get close to my brother. It was a cautious probe by a little girl who was not yet an adult, but as soon as I said a word, I was met with Frank's impatient and cold voice. You don't understand. There seemed to be a thick barrier between the 2 of them and me. In the past, I would try to sit in the back row and listen carefully, trying to find a common topic with them, but now, the task given to me by the system is too difficult. This time, I didn't beg my brother to let me get in the car. This time, I picked up the sandwich on the table and waved my hand, saying, I'll ride a shared bike, you guys go by car. If I want to study hard, I need to have a strong body. From today on, I decided to ride a shared bike for 15 kilometers to school every day. I would wear headphones and listen to English on the way to practice my listening. The moment I stepped out of the door, I felt a cold and probing gaze cast on me. I didn't look back. I rode the shared bike and arrived at school with a clatter. Since it was my first time riding a bike, my speed wasn't fast enough, and I was late for school. The teacher didn't like me, the poor student, very much and punished me to stand outside the classroom. I pleaded, Teacher, can I stand inside the classroom? I want to listen to the class. The teacher looked at me suspiciously. After all, in her original impression, I mostly slept in class. But under my pleading and sincere gaze, she nodded. I quickly walked into the classroom and stood at the back. It was a Chinese class, and I could barely hear. My pen was moving quickly as I took notes of what the teacher said, even though I didn't fully understand some parts. For the subject of Chinese, I need to accumulate the language for answering questions, and taking more notes can help me accumulate more language. I know that I have a low favorability with all the subject teachers. To increase my favorability, I not only stared straight at the teacher but also nodded from time to time. The teacher asked, "Do you understand?" The whole class was silent, and only my voice rang out, "I understand." The Chinese teacher was stunned for a moment and casually said, "Look, even Sarah understands, everyone should understand, right?" The whole class burst into laughter. I didn't care and showed a simple and honest smile. When the teacher continued with the lecture, my furious writing was suddenly interrupted. A ball of paper landed on my calf with a thud. I looked up to find the owner of the paper ball, but I couldn't find him. Then, more and more paper balls were thrown at me like hailstones. Some hit my calf, some hit my arm, and the most excessive one even hit my face. The system was angry. "Host, it was that brat sitting in the back row who threw the paper balls at you. He's really despicable." I wiped my face and found the mastermind who threw the paper balls. The teenager sitting in the last row, tilting his head and looking at me. He was tall, with handsome eyebrows and eyes, and a hint of unnoticeable irritability. Lucas, my original fiancé. The Lincoln family and the Smith family had arranged a baby marriage. Lucas was originally Kathy's fiancé, but after I returned, he became mine. He was unhappy, and coupled with Kathy crying in front of him several times, he hated me to the bone and often led the bullying of me at school with Kathy. The original owner endured it. She was timid and didn't dare to confront Lucas. I couldn't stand it. I needed to study, and he was always disturbing me. I quickly raised my hand. "Teacher, Lucas is always disturbing my study and throwing paper balls at me." The paper balls at my feet were the best proof. The teacher stopped writing on the blackboard and looked at the paper balls at my feet. She had an impatient expression. "We'll talk about it after class. He doesn't study and wants to affect my study. Is he afraid that I'll surpass him?" As soon as I said this, the whole class burst into laughter. The teacher gave a dry laugh and said to create an atmosphere, "It's not impossible. After all, Lucas was second from the bottom of the class." Lucas was so angry that his face turned red, looking like a red-tailed finch that had been plucked. As soon as the class was over, Lucas rushed to my desk in a rage. He pushed my desk over and then stepped on my books, looking arrogant. "Sarah, don't think I don't know what you're thinking. You were a poor student before you returned to the Smith family. Now you're pretending to be studious just to make me like you." The teenager's school uniform jacket was open, revealing the black t-shirt inside. He stood straight in front of me. His eyebrows were unruly and a bit proud, as if it was normal for the original owner to like him. But I didn't have a good impression of him. Facing him in a rage, I said slowly, "If you disturb my study again, I'll go to your home and find your father. You're obstructing the efforts of a high school student who is striving to improve." Lucas's father often appeared on TV and was a well-known local politician. I used to be cowardly and inferior, and with the mindset of a student, I never thought of directly finding the other person's parent. The red-haired finch hopped around in anger for a while and then slunk away with his tail between his legs. After all, he was an immature teenager, and his father was always strict. He didn't dare to make trouble in front of his father. Without Lucas's harassment, my school life became stable for the time being. I started to study like crazy. Even when I went to the toilet, I held a vocabulary book. Not to mention when I was queuing up to buy food, would recite formulas like crazy. With my efforts in the first monthly exam, I went from the bottom of the class to the 25th place in the class. I advanced from the bottom of the grade to the top 400 students in the school, but it wasn't enough. The task given to me by the system was to get the first place in the class this semester. Because of my obvious progress, the head teacher took me as a case of counterattack and publicized it. The school also invited me to speak at the commendation meeting after the monthly exam and talk about my study experience. The school required us to wear the school uniform jacket. When I took out the school uniform jacket from my desk, there was a large ink stain on the blue and white school uniform jacket, looking dazzling and dirty. I didn't need to guess who did it. Just as I was about to take the school uniform to tell the teacher, but the time was urgent, and the teacher quickly pushed me onto the podium. I could only choose to go on stage wearing the stained school uniform. As soon as I stood on the podium, the people in the audience noticed my school uniform. For a moment, whispers and laughter rang out from the audience. "Is she the one who made great progress from the bottom of the class? She probably cheated. The school uniform is so dirty. She really doesn't care." I swept my eyes over the students in the audience and clenched the microphone. "This is the moment. Start with a fluent English opening speech," the success system said in an excited and expectant tone. After studying for a month, The system even canceled my sleeping time and forced me to listen to listening materials and practice my oral English with the energy pills in my space. My current English level can directly translate my original speech, after all. I have learned about 10,000 words in this month. I took a deep breath and started to give the first paragraph of the speech in Chinese accented English. All the students were stunned by me, because I spoke slowly and my accent was quite Chinese. Some top students could understand. Damn, she seems to be quoting Cook's speech. She's so fluent. Her English level is so good that she can communicate without any obstacles even if she goes abroad, but she's a bit pretentious. You're pretending very well. The atmosphere has been built up. Host, remember, you're not an ordinary person. The system's voice was even more excited. Seeing that everyone didn't care about my school uniform anymore, I started to talk about what I really wanted to say. Everyone thinks that I had poor grades before because I didn't like studying. I was a natural delinquent, a bad girl. Let me explain. I didn't study before because I didn't have the conditions to study. When your parents were supervising your study when you were young, I had to stand on a small stool to cook for the family when I was only 5 years old. When you could go to cram schools or travel and see the world during winter and summer vacations, I had to go around the streets selling roses for $5 each. If I couldn't sell them, I would get beaten. You have a quiet study space and sufficient study materials. But when I got home, not only did I have to do a lot of housework, but I paused and rolled up the sleeves of my school uniform. This has always been a pain in my heart, and I have hidden it deeply. There were several scars crisscrossing on my arm. The ugly strips of flesh were intertwined on my thin arm, looking like long and thin centipedes. Tragic and heart-wrenching. I might even get beaten. I looked at the people in the audience who all gasped. Everyone raised their heads and looked at me. I was beaten by my stepmother at home. Because I was thin, didn't like to talk, and didn't have my family's support, I was also bullied at school. These scars recorded my real history. I was on the verge of choosing to slack off in the face of day after day of despair. Lucas, who was sitting in the first row, had his amber pupils widen in shock. The pampered young master looked quite shocked. I'm very grateful to be able to study here. There are excellent teaching staff and a good study environment. I will seize the existing opportunities and keep studying hard. I will bloom my own flowers on my barren land. I raised my head and showed a simple and gentle smile to everyone. Everyone started clapping loudly. After the commendation meeting, because I was so inspiring, I was spared from being bullied. At least Lucas didn't lead the bullying of me anymore. He looked a bit guilty when he saw me, but the teenager refused to admit it. He blushed and said, "You had such a miserable life in your adoptive parents' home. I won't bully you anymore. I'm not a scumbag." I held the vocabulary book and nodded perfunctorily. The system said, "It is detected that Lucas's favorability towards you has increased by 10. Do you want to convert it into other attributes, such as memory? Convert it." I must convert it. Just after converting the favorability, Lucas, whose ears were red, raised his eyebrows and said in a sharp voice, "But you being bullied has nothing to do with Kathy. You're not allowed to cause trouble for Kathy. The efficiency of the system is really high." I said, okay, Lucas, don't you have anything else to say?" I said, "I seem to have something to say." Lucas raised his eyebrows, and the redness on his ears almost spread to his handsome face. His eyebrows curved slightly. The system said, "Your favorability with him has increased by 10 again. Do you want to convert it?" "Convert it," I said. "I got the 25th place in this exam. And you're the bottom of the class now." Sure enough, as soon as I said this, Lucas's face turned black. His blushing face was like an apple covered in frost. He snorted and turned around and left. The open school uniform jacket hit the desk with a crackling sound. The system was surprised. "His favorability towards you has increased by 5 again." I asked the system, "How can the favorability be converted into study-related attribute points? What about the favorability of other people? If it's possible, I plan to do the flower hand shaking on TikTok to accumulate more fans." The system said, "Host, please stop your imagination. Only the favorability of people who have a close relationship with the original host can be converted into attribute points." Well, I had to give up the dream of both autumn recruitment and studying, because I did well in the exam. The teacher specifically called the parents to encourage me, but after I got home, I didn't get the recognition of the Smith family. Since I came back, I've been targeted by Kathy. I used to be inferior and timid, and I was already abandoned by Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is a very utilitarian person. He doesn't seem to have love for his children, only an evaluation of their value. Kathy is elegant and delicate, and Frank is steady and intelligent, so they are Mr. Smith's ideal children. Because I was beaten before, my personality, behavior, and actions are all petty, so Mr. Smith doesn't like the original host. Mrs. Smith is a housewife. Even though she has sympathy for the original host, in front of her husband and son, she still chooses her husband and son. She follows their attitude and doesn't dare to show her own attitude. When we were sitting at the dining table and Kathy brought up my grades on purpose, I heard that sister got the 25th place in the class this time. Her progress is really amazing. It's a miracle. Yes, I have a system. And this is a miracle. Kathy elongated her voice and gave a half smile. Could it be that sister cheated? It doesn't matter if you don't do well in the exam, but cheating will embarrass our family. I'm afraid sister just came home and doesn't understand these things. She lowered her voice and sounded innocent. Before I could speak, the system started scolding in my mind. The system said, Kathy, you're really despicable. If I weren't a system, I would tear your mouth apart. The system said, Host, don't tear her apart. Tearing her apart will deduct your moral attribute points. You should study hard first. When you complete the task, you will have a chance to confront her. Frank paused, glanced at me lightly, and then retracted his gaze casually. What are you looking at? It has nothing to do with you. When Mr. Smith heard what Kathy said, he raised his head, his expression cold as he questioned, Kathy is right. Is your exam result this time real? Everyone at the table looked at me. It's not real, I said softly. Kathy immediately showed a smile. Frank also frowned tightly. I didn't perform well this time. I planned to get the first place in the class in the final exam. I said indifferently, how is that possible? Your original grades were so poor. Kathy raised her voice. That's why I've been studying hard recently. You can go to my room and have a look. I've finished 10 exercise books. I smiled slightly. That's right. It feels so good to pretend. Mrs. Smith quickly smoothed things over. That's true. I often saw Sarah studying. Mr. Smith's expression also softened slowly. I hope so. Frank said something at this time. Then you can go to my room later and get 2 more sets of test papers. These are the good test papers I found recently. Show them to me after you finish them. The system said. You're being shown up again. I just realized that this success system loves to complain so much. Maybe when it was first bound to me, the system hadn't adjusted well to me. Now that we've been getting along for a long time, the system complains every day. Okay, I nodded. After all, I know that Frank's real intention isn't to give me the test papers to do, but to check if I cheated. Anyway, I'm not afraid of being checked. I decided not to sleep at night. Now I even study in the system space during my sleeping time. I'm going all out to get the first place in the final exam, the system said. Host, don't forget that we still have a task to get the National Athlete Certificate. Which sports event do you plan to practice? I recommend long-distance running, because long-distance running has quick results, although it's a bit difficult and tiring. Then long-distance running, the system said. The long-distance running training task has been activated. From now on, you have to run to school every day. You mean I have to run the 15 kilometers from home to school? And I also have to carry a school bag weighing 5 kilograms, the system said. No, your load isn't 5 kilograms, the system said. It's 5 kilograms in the first month and 10 kilograms in the second month. Come on, host, you are Sarah. System, I'm your father. My current life is really a suffering. Every morning, I watch Kathy and her brother go to school in a luxury car. I need to run 15 kilometers with a load, the system said. If you can bear the hardship, you can become the king. However, within a month, my physical fitness has improved a lot. My figure has changed from being skinny to having muscles, and I've become more agile. In order to complete the system task of getting the National Athlete Certificate, the system suggested that I sign up for the school sports training first, so I faced Lucas in the gym. Sarah, what tricks are you up to this time? I said. System, what do you think of Lucas? The system said, he's not that great. When Lucas saw that I didn't say anything and just stared blankly, he probably thought I looked down on him. His ears turned red, and he said louder, do you still have feelings for me? Although I'm your fiancé now, my heart belongs to Kathy, the system said. He's being narcissistic, the system said. His favorability towards you has increased for no reason. I said, convert it. I added all the attribute points to my explosive power this time. Lucas is also on the track and field team, and he's the captain, but he's just a slacker who's trying to skip class. I started the formal training in the track and field team, but it wasn't going smoothly, because the members of the track and field team thought I was new, and with what Lucas said. They thought I came for Lucas because I'm a love-struck person. Kathy always brings water to Lucas and says some malicious things like calling me a mistress. As a result, the other members of the track and field team misunderstood me. Fortunately, their harm was just isolating me, excluding me, and speaking ill of me. I didn't say anything and just trained like crazy. The opportunity to prove myself came in the city sports meeting. The coach wanted to choose a female team member to participate in the competition. The system urged me to submit the registration form. As soon as I submitted the registration form, there was a commotion. Because of the competitive relationship and their dislike for me, the members of the track and field team blocked me in the changing room. Kathy was also there. You just joined. Why do you think you can submit the registration form? Aren't you here for Lucas? You still want to grab the spot in the city competition. The female captain of the track and field team pushed me, looking angry. Kathy added fuel to the fire. Sister, you should cancel your registration. How can you compete with those who have been training for a long time? I said, aren't we going to have a competition in our team? Whoever wins will participate. I submitted the registration form, but what if I lose? The captain of the track and field team was speechless. Are you afraid you can't beat me? I looked at the members of the track and field team suspiciously. The captain of the track and field team quickly shook her head. How is that possible? We've been training longer than you. I spread my hands. Then it settled. The captain of the track and field team didn't know that I run 15 kilometers every day. But Kathy, who always sits in the Mercedes and watches, knows I have the strength. When Kathy saw that the captain of the track and field team was about to back down, she said urgently, that won't work. What if she secretly trains? How about we break her leg? As soon as Kathy said that, we were all shocked. The captain of the track and field team was even more stunned. That's a bit too vicious, isn't it? The system said. She seems crazy. Kathy's suggestion wasn't adopted. But her inappropriate words made some people who used to support her in the school turn against her. The system said, don't pay attention to Kathy, she's just a clown. The system said, host, remember, your goal is to make yourself stronger and go to a battlefield with more resources. After submitting the registration form, the track and field competition was about to start. Of course, I didn't participate in the competition, because Kathy put medicine in my milk that day. I spent the whole morning having diarrhea in the toilet. I really can't stand it. System, why didn't you stop her? The system said, why stop her? I didn't plan to let you participate in this competition anyway. The system said, and Lucas saw her putting medicine in your milk. Lucas's favorability towards you has increased again. The system didn't let me participate in this competition. The system told me that coming to the school for training was just a cover. In fact, it had searched for a training base for me using big data. I directly signed up for the provincial competition in the name of the training base. After getting a ranking, I could get the national second-level athlete certificate. I said, system, you're so cunning. The system said, silly child, do you know what the highest level of showing off is? It's pretending to be weak first and then slapping those people in the face. I followed the system's arrangement. With the attribute points and my hard training, I still got a good result. During the time of waiting for the national second-level athlete certificate to come out, Kathy spread rumors about me. To some extent, I think Kathy has a lot of energy, but she doesn't use it in the right way. The system said, I've arranged a good job for Kathy. The system said, don't you think this person is very suitable to be a hater on the internet? Maybe if she stops targeting you and becomes a hater, she can find her true self. Kathy found her little sisters to talk nonsense about me. She said she went to practice sports. But actually, she just went to find Lucas. Lucas and Kathy are childhood sweethearts. Doesn't she feel like a green tea for interfering in other people's relationships? Just as I was about to refute, Lucas's voice came loudly from outside the classroom. Stop talking nonsense. I really don't have a good impression of Sarah. And she hasn't expressed her liking for me either. She really went to practice sports. As for why she didn't participate in the competition, I think you, Kathy, know very well. Lucas's voice was straightforward, and his sharp eyes swept over Kathy like a little leopard. Kathy's face turned pale, and tears welled up in her almond-shaped eyes. She looked wronged and at a loss because Lucas stood up for me. Sure enough, people around us looked at Lucas and me suspiciously. As if there was something between us, Kathy covered her face and ran out. Looking at the eyes of the people around me, I quickly distanced myself. She's crying because Lucas made her angry. It has nothing to do with me. I don't even talk to Lucas at school. I don't even have a mobile phone. I spread my hands, looking very innocent, when the people around me still suspected that I had ill intentions for practicing sports. The bell rang. The head teacher walked into the classroom and handed me the National Athletes Qualification Certificate in front of the whole class. Sarah, your athlete's certificate has come out. Come to the podium to get it. Okay, teacher. The whole class fell silent. Lucas snorted coldly at the back. So you say she didn't practice sports seriously. Those who say others don't practice well should slap themselves twice, the system said. Great, you're showing off again. After completing another stage task, I got a large number of attribute points. Kathy lost face because of me. She seemed to realize that she couldn't damage my reputation at school anymore. She still has another battlefield, which is in the Smith family. Frank likes her very much. As the original host's biological brother, Frank always takes Kathy's side. I asked the system in confusion, why does Frank, my biological brother, never take my side? The system said, silly child. You have blood ties with the Smith family, and you have the right to inherit. No matter what you do, he won't like you because you will compete with him for resources, the system said. Remember, host, what you're competing for isn't love and respect. As long as you have power and money, love and respect will come to you naturally. I suddenly understood. Looking back, before I had the system, I had fantasized about getting my brother's recognition. I was really stupid. After I got home, I thought that since I got the National Qualification Certificate, Mr. and Mrs. Smith would at least praise me. As a result, Mr. Smith said coldly, I heard about this from Kathy. As a member of the Smith family, you don't need to waste time practicing sports with these useless things. You just need to study hard and don't embarrass us. Look at your brother. He got the first place in the school again and participated in the physics Olympiad. The system said, host, you should also participate in the Olympiad and slap them in the face when you come back. I have famous teacher guidance in my space. I'll arrange it for you. With the comfort of the system, I didn't dwell on Mr. Smith's harsh words. I just silently went back to my room and entered the space to study physics. While studying intently, I thanked the system. System, it's lucky to have you. If it weren't for you, I would definitely be entangled. Why my father doesn't like me, the system said. You don't need to be entangled. Even if you succeed, he won't praise you. It means he's born mean, the system said. Host, of course, you also need to work hard. Only when you complete the task can I get energy, and you can also improve your attributes. We have a win-win cooperation. I began to be curious about this system. System, why did you choose me among so many people? Why didn't you choose Frank? Isn't he smarter? The system said, because you have the most show effect. With a tragic background, a beautiful appearance, and becoming stronger. You have the identity of being beautiful, strong, and pitiful. In this way, I can get more energy, the system said. We can be said to be creatures from different planes. I chose the profession of a system. I change your life in your lower level plane. There will be some audiences who like to watch. We can get rewards and energy, the system said. Each system obtains energy in a different way. The way I obtain energy is for you to complete the task. I was even more curious. Then, system. Do you mean you're a creature from a higher plane? What do you look like? The system's tone was perfunctory. It's probably a bit like a human, but we are more advanced than humans. We have tentacles. You can't imagine it. Stop asking and study physics well. It seemed that the system didn't want to talk about itself, so I had to lower my head and study. I was very grateful to the system, and I decided to study even harder so that the system could get more energy. Because of the improvement of my memory and comprehension ability, my study efficiency became higher and higher, and with more time, I mastered the knowledge of the physics Olympiad, so I also signed up for the Olympiad. Frank and I were assigned to the same Olympiad class. When Frank saw me, a trace of fear flashed across his usually indifferent expression. He said indifferently, your foundation is weak, and you're not suitable for studying in the physics Olympiad. Don't embarrass the Smith family, the system said. You're just a show-off. He's afraid you'll surpass him, the system said. Come on, let's use the famous teacher package. I said, thank you, you're so kind, System, the system said, it's exchanged with energy, it's all earned by you for me, with the blessing of the system, it's easy for me to surpass Frank. Frank doesn't show it on his face, but he's anxious in his heart. I study day and night. The system can improve my intelligence and give me time, but it can't work hard on my behalf. Frank is extremely anxious, but there's nothing he can do. My grades gradually surpass his. The teacher, seeing that we're siblings, asks me to form a team with him to participate in the National Olympiad. Frank, don't hold me back, the system says. This show-off, he's just a hanger-on. I give a modest smile. There are countless talented people in the world. After participating in the competition, I realize that although Frank seems powerful at school, he's actually holding me back in the national competition. Without the blessing of the system, I might have failed too. Fortunately, I won the gold medal on behalf of the provincial team. This gold medal can guarantee someone a place to study in a professional institution, the system says. Host, with this gold medal, you don't need to take the college entrance examination, I say. But you gave me the task of getting the first place in the city in the college entrance examination, the system says. You've been studying too hard recently. I think it's okay to get directly recommended for admission. Don't be too tired. Surprisingly, the system actually knows how to feel sorry for me. Indeed, recently there's a lot of my hair on the ground after I take a shower. My brain is running all day long, and I feel like I'm becoming a dull beast. The system and I are immersed in the joy of winning the gold medal. But then I suddenly realize a problem. The system's ultimate goal for me is to get the first place in the college entrance examination. If I don't take the college entrance examination, will the system disappear? I decide to ask the system, will you always stay with me? Without the system, I wouldn't be who I am today. I'm really reluctant to part with this system. The system is silent for a moment and then says, we have an energy value. I'm almost reaching the standard from you. When my energy value is full, I'll leave. After saying this, a sense of loss wells up in my heart. It's like the warm bubbles in my heart are breaking one by one. I'm reluctant to let the system go. The system is both a teacher and a friend to me. Privately, I suddenly don't want the system's energy to be full. Will the system stay with me forever like this? But soon I deny this thought. I can't kidnap the system with my own will. As if sensing my inner loss, the system comforts me. Come on, stop being emo. We're from different planes. Isn't it great that we accompany each other on this journey and achieve things together? I'll generously tell you my name. My real name isn't just System. You can call me Brother too. Is this a normal name? I'm speechless. The system and I bickered for a while. When I communicate with the system, I look a bit dull on the outside. Soon someone ruins the atmosphere between us. It's Mr. Smith, as my nominal father. He calls me to the study for the first time. This is a place that symbolizes the family's resources and power. I think my father has finally decided to give me a share of the Smith family's resources. The old power holder and the heir are sitting on the dark leather sofa, with a resolute and cold voice. There's a recommended admission quota in your school. I've already talked to the principal and decided to give this recommended admission quota from the Olympiad gold medal to your brother. Your brother can enter school a year earlier and help out in the company earlier, and your brother needs this recommended admission experience on his resume. Our family company is in the field of technology and intelligence. Don't feel wronged. I'll transfer $300,000 to your card. You can buy some nice clothes and jewelry. Don't dress too plainly all day long. Mr. Smith examines me and speaks in an unquestionable tone, and Frank, as the beneficiary, sits there arrogantly and doesn't even look at me. I don't say anything, and the system is almost going crazy in my head. The system says, what, are they crazy? What's the use of $300,000? The value of the recommended admission is worth much more than $3 million, the system says. They want to encroach on your interests and act like they're giving you something. I really can't stand it. What kind of father is this? I say, even if I don't agree, it's useless. Mr. Smith has obviously already made an agreement with the people above, the system says. Why are they seizing your resources? We don't need this shitty father. Host, confront them now. I'll enhance your combat power, and you can go and slap them both. I look at my nominal father and brother. I find it really boring. I want to cut off the relationship with you. After I entered the Smith family, my household registration hasn't been transferred from my adoptive mother yet. I want to cut off the relationship with you disgusting people. There's no fluctuation in my voice. The system says, you're amazing, Sarah. cut off the relationship with these scumbags. Maybe it's because my tone is too flat. Or maybe it's because my expression is too disdainful, Mr. Smith can't stand the fact that the lowest-ranking person in the family dares to resist him. His eyes widen instantly, and he slaps the armrest of the sofa and stands up with a bang. He's about to hit me. You little wretch, do you think we wanted to bring you home if we weren't afraid that someone would use you to make trouble? Do you think you, a useless thing raised by the lower class, are worthy of standing in front of us? You say I'm no good, but your son is even more useless. He's trying to take the recommended admission for the Olympiad from me, I retorted. As soon as I said this, Frank came over and grabbed my hair. The intense pain of my scalp being pulled makes me hiss. Brother 2 says, fight them, beat them both until they look like pigs. I'll exchange all my energy for your combat power now. In an instant, I feel a surge of power filling my body. I punch Frank in the face while he's pulling my hair. With this punch, I feel like Frank's face is caved in. He takes 2 steps back and then faints on the ground. Cut off the relationship, or I'll report you. I don't want to have anything to do with you people. I raise my fist and say, Mr. Smith takes a step back, and his voice is a bit shaky, but he still tries to sound fierce. I'll have someone handle this. From now on, you're no longer a member of the Smith family. I wipe my fist and say, no one wants to be a member of the Smith family. After I walk out of the study, I see Kathy standing outside the study in a light-colored dress, looking graceful. Her voice is gentle, but her expression is mocking. You've broken up with your father and brother. That's good. I don't have to drive you away. As she speaks, she adjusts her skirt and quickly puts on a pitiful and anxious look. I see her rush into the study and call out to the fainted Frank eagerly. Brother, I say. Shouldn't the first thing be to call an ambulance after leaving the Smith family? I try to call the system. I call several times before the system slowly replies to me. His voice is very weak. The system says, stop calling, I've used a lot of energy. I say, is it because you exchanged combat power for me? I feel a bit guilty. The system says, our system doesn't advocate solving problems with violence. This is a society ruled by law. I violated the rules and got punished. I say, what kind of punishment? The system says, I broke 2 tentacles. It's okay. They can regenerate. I'll give you the broken tentacles as a souvenir when I have the chance. I feel even more guilty. I didn't cry just now, but when I heard that the system was injured, I really felt sorry for it. I say, give me more tasks. I'll do the tasks to earn energy for you. The system doesn't say anything. It seems that it's in pain and makes a hissing sound. After I left the Smith family, I took my ID card and some money. I went to find a place to live outside. The system and I walked on the busy street. It was already late, and there was a bright moon hanging in the dark sky. The quiet and gentle moonlight shone on the road. I walked quietly and talked to the system in my head. Brother 2, don't feel bad. Although I lost the recommended admission for the Olympiad, I left the crazy Smith family, and I can participate in the college entrance examination and get the first place in the city to earn energy for you. The system's annoyed voice came. I just thought you were too tired. That's why I planned to end the task with the recommended admission. Do you think it's easy to get the first place in the city in the college entrance examination? You study for 18 hours a day. I'm afraid you can't stand it. Although the system's voice is stern, I know he has a good heart. I smile softly. It doesn't matter. I'm used to studying under high pressure. Brother 2, wait for me to earn energy for you. This is Brother 2's arrogance. Okay then, Mr. Smith quickly cut off the relationship with me, and I finally became the head of the household in the household register. Of course, when he threw the household register at me, he still pretended to be arrogant and said, don't regret it. The Smith family won't welcome you. My mother naturally chose my father and eldest brother. Of course, when she left, she had tears in her eyes and said worriedly, just apologize to them. I ignored her. Brother 2 gradually ignored me. Because of the lack of energy, he can only talk to me for a short time every day. He can't even give me learning buffs. I can only rely on myself to study and work hard. I still remember the task of learning languages that Brother 2 gave me, so I choose Japanese and Korean. I study online with the online courses. The task didn't ask me to be proficient, just to learn. I take time to study, hoping to earn some energy for Brother 2, after cutting off the relationship with the Smith family. Lucas came to see me once. The teenager's face was as red as a ripe fruit, shining in the sun. It seems that he mustered up a lot of courage and then said to me loudly, I know what Kathy has done, and I also know that you've been abandoned by the Smith family, but I admire your efforts and determination. I don't like the Lincoln family, but I can't break away from the family. If you don't mind, I can give you some help. My father has seen your grades and said that you have great potential. I can help you stop the Smith family from harassing you. Looking at his sincere and clear eyes, I said, "Oh, thank you." Lucas seemed to be happy in an instant, with his eyebrows and eyes curved. Brother 2, who hadn't replied to me for a long time, sent me a message. "Brother 2, this guy must like you. Your favorability is rising rapidly. Convert it into your energy." Brother 2, Sarah, remember, don't be addicted to male sex. There will be more people who like you in the future. As long as you're excellent enough, people around you will come to you. The system is really torn. It said that love is useless, and now it's imagining that many people will like me. I can't help but chuckle. System, I'll tell you a secret, Brother 2. Don't tell me that you used to have expectations of Lucas. Yes, when I first returned to the Smith family, everyone disliked me. I only knew that I had a nominal fiancé. The Cinderella living in the stairwell once dreamed that this fiancé might be a prince descending from the sky to save her, until the moment I pushed open the door at school. The coldness of the dirty water pouring all over me made Cinderella wake up from her dream. When I saw the mockery in the eyes of my so-called fiancé, I realized that getting someone's love is a vain thing. I told the system this like it was a joke. I originally wanted to lighten the atmosphere and have some fun with the system. I waited for the venomous-tongued system to laugh at me. He said, "This isn't funny, Sarah. If you were from my plane, you would have 8 tentacles and could take turns slapping them." The Lincoln family indeed exerted some influence, ensuring that the Smith family no longer bothered me. This allowed me to spend the period before the college entrance examination in peace. When the college entrance examination results were released, I ranked first in the entire city. The moment I saw the result, tears welled up in my eyes. When I first returned to the Smith family, I was so humble and weak. After the system, Brother 2, appeared, he told me that instead of desperately seeking others' love, it was better to focus my efforts on battles at a higher level. This first place ranking in the city could earn energy for Brother 2 again. I knew that the time for me and the system to part ways might come soon, but I never expected our separation to be so tragic. After my first place result was announced, I received enormous attention. Media outlets wanted to report on me, and entrepreneurs contacted me offering sponsorships. Lucas's father, driven by greed, dug up the story of me being expelled from the Smith family and used it to stir up public opinion, aiming to strike a blow at the Smith family. Ever since the engagement between the Smith and Lincoln families was called off, the Lincoln family had been plotting to annex the Smith family. Suddenly, public opinion on the internet turned sharply against the Smith family. Criticisms such as passing off fakes as real, treating the fake wealthy daughter like a treasure, and patriarchy came pouring in one after another. But all of this was none of my concern. I didn't care about the affairs of the Smith family. My only concern was the system. Every day, I would ask the system, "Brother 2, when are you leaving?" The system would reply, "Why do you keep asking? Do you want me to leave quickly?" "No, I just want to know if we can meet again." The system would say, "Just go to sleep, kid." Didn't the system have any expectations for me either? Brother 2 said not to fantasize about things with no future, to seize the present, not to be sad, and to move forward. I shook my head and buried those thoughts deep in my heart. Because of all the attention I received, the Smith family's reputation suffered greatly, and their stock prices plummeted. Frank decided to take action against me. He resorted to the most despicable means, ruining my reputation. If he could obtain an indecent video of the top scoring student, it wouldn't matter how talented she was. In today's society, she would be attacked with this for the rest of her life. There were many people in the world, and among them, there were also a lot of ignorant people lacking in good judgment. These people took great pleasure in pulling outstanding individuals off their pedestals. As they would say, "She's very talented, but I heard her private life is messy. If you defend her, then marry her. That's the kind of person you are, right?" This method was despicable, but effective. Neither I nor Brother 2 expected that someone who was supposed to be a future CEO would use such underhanded tactics. So, caught off guard, I was kidnapped. A knife was pressed against my neck, and I forced myself to stay calm and negotiate with the kidnappers. "Sir, what do you want?" "I can offer you double the money they paid you." The cold blade cut through my collar, and the man opposite me sneered, "Little girl, if you cooperate, we'll be gentle. We need to hand over the video. I thought brother 2 would be as furious as before and start cursing in my ear. I thought the usual angry shouts would ring in my mind, but at that moment, brother 2's voice was calm and resolute, as if he had made a momentous decision. In the cold and dim warehouse, 6 men glared at me menacingly. They spouted filthy words, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. All I could hear was brother 2's voice, gentle yet firm. Transfer all energy to Lucas and enhance the host's comprehensive abilities. Beep, beep dash. Sorry, I can't accompany you anymore. Brother 2's voice faded away, replaced by a cold electronic voice. Sarah, all attributes have been maximized. Duration, 1 day. My heart skipped a beat, and I could clearly see every movement of the men in front of me. I could even see the flow of blood in their bodies and knew exactly where to strike to kill them, looking at the knife in front of me. Tears streamed down my face. My brother 2 had left me. I snatched the dagger from the kidnapper, avoiding all vital areas, and with proper self-defense, I took down all 6 men. Half an hour later, I showed up at the police station and provided evidence. After the case of hiring someone to cause harm was exposed, Frank was arrested. Under intense public pressure, the Smith family went bankrupt. Kathy was no longer the little princess of the Smith family. She had to face the family's debts and stay by Mr. and Mrs. Smith's side, working to pay them off. Frank was extremely disgusting. He had already had an improper relationship with Kathy and got her pregnant. Kathy was now tied down by the Smith family. The home she had been so reluctant to leave had now become a place from which she could never escape. I never got the chance to tell brother 2 that I planned to study at the best physics department, in the days without the system. I never gave up on self-improvement. I was always learning and moving forward, because brother 2 once said that the purpose of my life was not to seek love, whether it was the main or side quests in life. At the end of all tasks was self-love. During my time at university, I joined a group where people shared stories about their experiences with systems. I couldn't tell if the stories were true or false and only occasionally chimed in. Then one day, a woman approached me. She had clear eyes and a gentle voice. Hello, my name is Jack. Do you want to find the system? You're welcome to join us. Extra chapter 2. All your tasks this time ended in failure. You brought 0 energy to the mainframe, and you'll be punished. Now you only have 2 tentacles left. Good luck, buddy. I've told you not to get attached to the host. We're here for the energy, not to be saviors. I don't think you're cut out for this job. The voices of 2's colleagues echoed in the blue circuit-filled space. All right. The mainframe has assigned you to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You'll be responsible for contacting beings from other planes and promoting friendly exchanges. 2 wiped away non-existent tears. As a high-level being, he shouldn't be able to cry, nor should he have emotions, but why did his heart ache so much? In this society, emotions were unnecessary. Everyone rationally and steadily carried out the tasks assigned by the mainframe. Before starting this job, he had scored S in all his assessments. 2 walked into the punishment area as usual and then slowly started his new job at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. With his 2 tentacles, he no longer needed to type on a keyboard. Instead, he spent year after year waiting for a response from other planes. 2 let out a bitter laugh. Thinking he must be crazy, choosing Sarah had been an accident. When he first started his job and was selecting from various candidates, it was like drawing a card. He had hoped to pick someone better and stronger, but he got Sarah, the SSR he had nurtured. She belonged to no one but herself, always free and striving upward. Rather than keeping the rose hidden, he wished for it to bloom passionately. How he wished he could have watched her for a while longer. The technology here was not advanced enough to cross planes. After much thought, 2 slapped the unresponsive computer with his tentacles. He made a decision. He would transfer to the research department. Maybe there would be a miracle. The moment 2 stood up, the computer suddenly beeped softly. His eyes were drawn to the computer involuntarily, and his heart skipped a beat. This was the first greeting from Earth. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.